going to their little percentage, but not Tom.
Well, I'll introduce you, Roland, and you can
Please,
introduce Tom. We're going to get
please.
rock and rolling for those who are on time. Thank you very much for being our weekly More Momentum call. And we're going to continue to step it up this year. 2025 is going to be an amazing year. I know we're all excited, not just because it's a new year, but you can tell the positivity in the air is
Mhm.
different. It's a
Mhm.
confidence, it's not just a hope. People have a lot more confidence. There's a lot of 2 years of hell in the mortgage business and real estate business, waiting for the elections to be done and so forth, and a lot of uncertainty. But now everybody seems that they're ready to move forward,
Mhm.
and that's exciting. I know my team and myself and Gino and Todd Duncan are more excited about 2025 than we've been
Well, and
in a
even I would
long
even say
time.
the major news channels too. If you guys have seen some of the headlines have changed. The headlines were worst housing market, horrible interest rates. The
Right?
headlines have changed. The headlines are now this is the new normal. The headlines are now, hey, this is the worst. It's only going to get better. Get your house while you can. Like, and this is like the
Wait,
news
they're going
channel.
to give us
Right?
tailwinds and not
Yeah, I
headwinds?
know, I know. What about it? So, because it is, I mean, the sad reality is the news does dictate a little bit of the mood, right,
Sure.
around
Yeah.
the housing market, right? So it's cool to see some of that positive news coming out on the major news networks.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So if you're listening to Roland Cochran, he's been a teammate. He's on our think tank for Momentum Builder. He's one of the top, if not the one of the top coaches, but it's more than just coaching. And I'll let you explain more
Mhm.
about that, Roland. But I love that we always need to go outside the box some, and that's where Roland and Tom come in today.
Mhm.
Because we hear a lot of the same old, but we have to differentiate ourselves from our competition, and we need tactics that are working in today's market.
Yes.
We all have heard from the Fab 12 or so that give you great advice, but been there, done that. So it's really nice to get fresh perspectives, especially right now. We're all geared up for a better 25. And that's why we brought on Roland. And I appreciate Roland bringing Tom in because I'm very excited to hear about how to gain more referral partners. But Roland is one of the top coaches in the industry. He's a go getter, he's a doer, he's not a talker. He walks the walk. There's a difference because we've all listened to coaches and go, but why should I listen to you? You're 400 pounds. I
Mhm.
looked at your production. There's none. You haven't produced in
Mhm.
25 years, certain things like that. Roland is in it daily and he walks the walk. He runs multiple businesses. He just built, I'm just going to throw out there, a multi-million-dollar home in Sedona that I
Mhm.
can't wait to visit.
Mhm.
And so much more. But I love you guys to be engaged. It's
Mhm.
really, really important that you're engaged.
Mhm.
There's quite a few of you. Thank you for being on today. Smart of you. Way to kick off 25. But let's engage. So you'll see these
Mhm.
little reaction buttons. I'd love everyone to give me either a hand clap or a thumbs up or a heart. There you go, hearts. And if you think something's funny, you can throw out the laughter. Let's engage.
Mhm.
Laugh at us, give us thumbs up, and engage in the chat. Please do.
Mhm.
Ask your questions. Thank you, Stephanie. There you go. See?
Mhm.
We can get
Stephanie,
engaged.
I'll see Stephanie at my house tomorrow.
Ah, there you go. See, I already got whole shotted.
Yeah, just like that.
So, and Gina and I are excited. Of course, I'm gonna throw it. We'll tap into it at the end, but we're excited because we're gonna build momentum for the entire year. Not waiting for October 14th through the 17th for Sales Mastery 25, which is gonna be the event of the year, the experience of the year. But we're gonna build momentum every single week, and this is how we do it. Multiple ways to do it, but right now I'm going to turn it over to Roland and I'm going to listen as well. I'll chime in here and there, but we would love you guys to be involved. Thank you,
Mhm.
Tammy. Thank you, Scott. Let's get involved because you'll get more out of it. I promise.
Mhm.
Plus, it pumps up our
It
team,
brings
our
the best out of
listeners,
me. Brings the best
right?
out of me, man. I don't like
Yeah.
last thing I like is coming here talking to. I did my first webinar in history. I see some of your names on here who were on it 2 weeks ago. Because of the topic, I chose to just not disclose people's identities so that they could attend anonymously. But man, speaking to myself just sucked. I don't like that. I like questions. So let's dive into it. Um, Market share. A lot of you guys have heard me speak about this before. Um, A lot of, and it's funny, a lot of people, I think, roll their eyes at what I say. It sounds too easy. It sounds like a pipe dream. Sounds, I don't know why they don't take it seriously. And so I brought Tom around, so that you would take it seriously. Tom, I don't know where the numbers are settling now. It's always so hard to say because every month things are so weird right now with just the market swings and how many people are even in the market, how many of those agents are still around. But at one point Tom owned I think what was basically a fifth of his market. And it could be a little bit higher, it could be a little bit lower. It's tough to say, but we have to just guesstimate. But best way we could guesstimate from MMI and the data is the guy owned a fifth of his city. It's not a small city; it's a big city. And so what we're going to talk about is correlating. I'm going to use Tom to kind of talk about how we did it, how it worked, and how he's maintaining that. But first, I want to tee everybody up just a little bit of background as to why I'm saying what I'm saying, because I have a lot of proof to stand on. That's why when people kind of like don't believe me, I don't know why they don't believe me, because I have tons of proof to stand on. And if you guys need more proof, shoot me an Instagram message. I'm happy to further back what it is that I'm about to tell all of you today. So first thing to do is just to recap marketing. Again, some of you guys have heard me say this, still listen again, because what I'm saying is right, and it will help you kind of gauge what it is that you need to do now in this market. So when we look at what we have done in marketing and sales, we've done some cool stuff. It's been awesome. And the Sales Mastery brand is a brand because of a lot of these strategies that needed to be practiced. And so it's cool to see the Sales Mastery brand combined with the Momentum Builder brand, because to me it's a really cool combo. It's the combo of tried and true psychological sales principles with Momentum Builder, which his entire mission was to bring modern real-time, real connected, real people into this environment, and combining that with the sound, tried and true psychological principles of sales. I think it's going to be a beautiful marriage. I'm
Checks
so
in the mail,
excited
by the
for.
way, Roland. You're our
Yeah, there we
spokesperson.
go. Yeah. So I'm really excited for the fall when I see hopefully all of you at that event. It's gonna be cool, and we're getting out of Vegas, which is nice because I just can't go to that place again, and so it's so nice to go to another city. I'm excited about that. So, but my point is, if we look at marketing and what marketing has evolved into, think about it. In the beginning, the big struggle was getting people to act, right? So the whole focus kind of from like the 50s, 60s, all the way up through, I would say probably like the 90s, maybe even early 2000s, was getting people to act, right? So most of the sales training and marketing trainings that you guys would engage in were going to be words, buzz phrases. A lot of you guys have heard, Todd Duncan's kind of like coined phrase, right? Like, what would it mean to you too, right? And so there was a lot of that push around how do we say things, do things to get people to tap into their emotions and act. Well, here's what happens. What happens when everybody's got a coach at every coaching program, everybody's going to the same conferences. And so now you have all the top salespeople going to the same coaches, the same conferences, reading the same books, watching the same. What happens? Becomes normal, right? So now when here I am, I'm buying a car, and the guy says, what would it mean to you if you had this car? 2 weeks later, I'm buying something else. The guy says, well, when I'm trying to like say, oh yeah, me and my wife are going to think about it. And he goes, well, let me ask one more question. What would it mean to, if I start seeing and having that stuff go on? Do you guys see that it's the novelty starts to go away? The agenda starts to get exposed. Because how many times have your friend or your mother or a peer or a mentor asked you a weird question like that? They don't, because it's weird. We don't communicate that way. So my point is, we went through this phase where it was all about getting the close, right? Teeing people up. And what happened was the same thing that happens to everything. It stopped working. Straight up. just stop working. And that's what happens with everything. You send mailing, you send postcards out until the people start throwing all the postcards in the mail, and then they stop converting. Now they're actually starting to convert again because nobody's sending things in the mail. So now you're sending out a little rate advertising of a buy down. Now you're actually getting phone calls because people are starting to actually read those things now because it's been so, but my point is things change. And what we want to watch is a lot of the efforts, God bless all the coaches and God bless all the conferences. The challenge is we kind of have to transition away from a blueprint thinking and into a authentic expression thinking. So that kind of transitions me into my quick little thing about marketing. I hope everybody listens to this because it's probably the most important thing I'm going to say all day. Marketing doesn't make you any money. Marketing gets attention. And then if they see something they like, that'll make you money. I'm going to say that again because it's just probably the most important thing you'll learn in sales. Marketing doesn't make you any money. Marketing gets attention. It gets eyeballs. It's the eyeballs. It's what they see that will convert, right? It's very, very important to understand that. Why I'm saying that is, so I cannot tell you how many people I see. They're like, Roland, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. They tell me all the time, Roland, I'm doing personal branding. I'm posting every single day. I've got this cool fancy website built up. I'm hosting all of these fancy webinars to teach all of my agents Con Ed classes. Like I'm doing everything, Roland. And I just go. It takes me 1 second. I just get on there. I just get on their profile. I go to their little website and. I know they have convinced themselves that what they're doing is unique and remarkable. I'm sorry, it just looks extremely average and normal. Of course, you're hosting a webinar. Who isn't? Right? Of course, you have this product. Who isn't? Like that's the thing is like these loan officers are they're so like, oh, I'm doing everything and it didn't work. It's like, yeah, I know, because you're doing the same stuff everybody else is doing. And again, the definition, if you guys look at the definition of value, right? That's the big thing. You'll hear people say, you need to add value, add value, add value. I always have people take a screenshot, like all my clients in my coaching program, they'll take screenshots of people saying that and send it to me because they know how I feel about it. I don't disagree. You do need to add value. Where I disagree with is the stuff that you guys think is valuable, they don't think is valuable. How can I say this? I'm not a loan officer. I'm not a loan officer. I am a real estate investor. I am somebody who knows a lot about loan officers. I know a lot about agents. And as a neutral third party, I'm sorry, your guys' reels just suck. They're uninteresting. That you teaching me about mortgage. I don't get on that platform to be taught about mortgages. I don't get on there to be that. And so you trying to teach me stuff about mortgages, you do you. Can you imagine, just these people telling me, my dentist bragging about his new fillings that he's got, or my lawyer talking about this new tax law? Like, hey, you do you, bro. I'm just going to give you my money or my teeth or buy a home. Like I'm trusting you to do. And that's the weird thing about the housing industry is you guys have this belief that you guys need to like convince them how awesome you are. I'm sorry. I don't know who told you need to do that. Because you don't. The assumption in professional services is that you are good at your job and that you're going to give me the best product. Everyone walks into the office assuming that. So really all they need to know is one thing only. And that's what Tom and I are going to teach you about today. Do I like this guy or woman? That's it. It's the one question only. Do I like this guy or gal? That's it. That's the only question. We are in a people business. When you choose a loan officer, you choose the person. I'm sorry. They don't choose where you work. They choose the person. I believe that Tom's going to get me the best offering. Why do I know that? It's funny. If you asked them, how do you know? They would say, I don't know. I just feel like Tom will. See what I'm saying? So what part of that buy down video or that video about the Fed, like what part of that is instilling that trust? I know you guys like the story that it is, but again, when was the last time that you saw a professional do that? Remember, you loan officers geeking out, getting high on your own supply, that's great for you guys. But again, you are not trying to impress each other. You're trying to lock in a relationship with an agent or a client. So just remember that. So the last thing I would say, and this is on Dave's platform. I don't know if you guys haven't checked out Dave's new platform. It's pretty rad. Content's still being poured in there, but Sean and I just did a training on Dave Savage's new coaching platform. Pretty cool. You guys can go over there and check it out. And that's what we trained people was basically, how do you get choices? How do you present people to choose you? Like that's what it is. It's a personal choice. So think about it this way: campaigning. That's what you're doing as a loan officer. It's like a presidential campaign. That's what it is. Why me? Why do people choose presidents? They don't choose. You guys heard? They don't say anything. They don't even answer your questions when you ask them. They dodge your questions. Again, people vote based off of the personality that the person's bringing to the table, right? That's really how it goes. It's no different in mortgage. I would say the more productive the agent, the more they're going to pick you based off of your personality. The more productive. Like if you go, the higher up you go, they just pick the person they like. You know, if you're trying to like pay for their Zillow leads, like they don't mess with that stuff, not at the top, right? The people who want that are like amateur loan agents, right? You know, it's come on, man, we're not going to play these tick for tack games. So, anyways, let's get right to the strategies because I know that's why you guys came here. So, what I'm going to talk to you about with Tom is when Tom and I started coaching, he had the same kind of goals that all of you guys have. He wanted to make 7 figures a year and enjoy his life. He didn't want to, you know, we all reach this point where it's like the money stops kind of being worth it. It's like, well, I don't even know if I want to make, I might be happier making 450K if I like my life better. Well, I'm of the belief that I don't like that mentality. To me, if you truly can't, you truly can't make north of $1 million a year and enjoy your life, then fine, I'll let you do it. What I have found as a coach is I have not met a client where I need to put a cap on their income for them to be happy. Would you agree, Tom?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. You've been in the program. There's not a single person where we have had to intentionally cap their income for there to be happy, which means you guys can essentially make unlimited money effortlessly if you
I
build the
hope
right
everybody's
system.
listening now because
Yeah.
that should catch your attention out there. If
Yeah.
you're just like on your phone right now, pay attention.
And the effortless
Roland and
mind,
Tom are talking about making 7 figures and having no cap in your income. That's what this is
effortless,
about.
and more importantly, effortlessly. That's really
Right.
what we're talking about. We're talking about effortless revenue production. That's what we're talking about. Because again, anybody can like grind and make money. The people who don't have to work for it, that's the cool part where work doesn't feel like work. And that's what we're going to get into today. Because again, I think last thing I'll mention before we dive in, intent matters a lot right now. And a lot of people, their intent with marketing is to get a loan. They want money. And it's just so obvious. When I go to your profile, you just reek of somebody who wants money, and everybody can tell. That's why you're posting the video. It's not because you love mortgage and you're trying to elevate the. Now, there are people who do, like Dave Savage genuinely believes in his mission, genuinely. And all of us know that. And if it's genuine that you believe in what you do, hell yeah, rock with that. Rock with that. I have a couple clients right now who actually love being loan officers, believe it or not. And they love slinging loans. They love educating and good for them. So that's great. But again, if that's not you, if you just do it because you're making money, and again, a lot of you are like, well, Roland, no duh, I do it for making money. But again, if you would not do this job anymore, if you had enough money to stop working, everyone can tell. And so what I would encourage you to do is position this business so that it's positioned not as a means to an end, but one of your pillars that you own that happens to make you money. Right? And again, I would encourage all of you to do that with every income generating avenue that you have. Position it so it's one of many things that you do that happens to make money. Right? But that's kind of the mentality. If that's your intent, you will do more business. But yeah, there's nothing more annoying than when somebody comes in your office and it's just very clear the only reason they're in front of you is because they want money. It's just you're not going to get that deal, right? So Tom, let's talk a little bit about how you and I pulled it off. So Tom had the same goal. Tom was like, "Hey, Roland, I want to effortlessly make money doing only things that I want to do." And that was what I sold him was possible. And so he was like, "All right, I'll bite. I'll write you the check. Let's do this thing." So Tom, I want to first talk about if you can rewind back to 2 years ago before we start doing all the cool stuff that we're doing. What was your mindset then? You remember right when you met me? Like, just give people an idea of where you were at mentally at that point.
Well, I was not where I'm at now. Where I was at then was like when I first met you, I thought you were going to give me the 10 steps to build my pipeline and how to organize my business and make myself free from it as far as a process goes and a program goes. And that was what I was looking for, because I thought that was the answer. And at the time, and actually it was 4 years ago that you and I met, but at the time, I was doing okay. I was not, it's not like I wasn't making a bunch of money and wasn't closing a bunch of loans, but I was miserable doing it. And that is the mindset that I was in at the time, was a little bit of misery, just because I was feeling that grind. And I've always, before I even met you, I've always had the attitude that I was helping people achieve their dream by getting them a loan, right? Well, I don't care if that was the, $80,000 house, or if that was the $2 million house. If I was getting them a loan, I was helping them achieve their dream. But it had gotten to the point where I got bogged down in the grind of it, and therefore I was a little bit miserable. Is that what you're getting at?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't like you were, because I just wanted to everybody understand, it wasn't like Tom wasn't making great money. He was.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like Tom hated his job. He didn't. It was more so the question, the dreaded question that all of us entrepreneurs have to face one day is this what I want to do for 20 more years in this way?
Yeah.
And I think a
Yeah.
lot of us don't want to say yes to that question, the way that we're offering. Is that accurate, Tom?
That's very accurate. But yet still, and I'm sure we'll get into this, but still the driving force for me was, you talk about add value. To me, adding value, even then, I just didn't feel right that adding value was a 2-1 buy down, or teaching somebody how, helping people with that huge transaction, and helping them understand the best way to handle their finances when it comes to that transaction. That's very helpful, and that's value added. But like you said a few minutes ago, that's just what's expected of us as a professional in the mortgage business. That's what we should already know. So for me, adding value translated into finding out what that person wants, what that person needs, what is going to enhance their life, and building that with them, and giving them not just the transactional stuff, but the connection.
Well, we'll talk. And again, Tom, the way that Tom, so everybody hear what Tom just said. That's fine and dandy with clients. And clients are great. I'm not shitting on clients. But clients, you're not going to get you might get a referral of family friend from that client, but you're probably not going to get another transaction from that client for 4 to anywhere from, 3 to 10 years, depending on what's going on with that person. Right. So what Tom did, and we'll get into the strategy, was Tom took that same principle and did that with his agents.
Yeah, exactly. So because it's very evident that and I kind of laugh sometimes now in my own market, where I see people constantly posting just the product, or just I did a closing today, and they got a picture of the closing. Not saying any of that stuff is bad. It's just that that's not what's going to impress your referral partners. What's going to impress your referral partners is you care enough about them to be part of their lives. And I used to think that only applied in a small town. I think it applies anywhere. Everybody probably on this call knows the name of this lady, Cindy Ertman. And one time when I was at one of her events, she asked me a question about market share and how did I get it. And I said, well, the 3 words when it comes to real estate, the 3 words are location, location, location. For me, the 3 words that pertain to referral partner relationships are that word: relationship, relationship, relationship. And think about it. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you're take, I want a loan, I wanted this, if you're, your partner, your wife, your husband, whoever it might be, and all you ever do is take, that relationship's not going to be lasting a whole long time. So that was one of the strategies that I employed, and still do employ, even with my team of people that close the loans for me now. Employ the strategy of give instead of take. Because when you're in a relationship, you're going to get back 100-fold what you give, right?
Mhm. And giving, the thing to clarify too is I think a lot of people are going to walk away like instantly your brain right now is saying, again, webinars,
Yeah, no.
it's your brain's going to go to the stuff that they have all convinced you that agents want. And it's just so hilarious as somebody who's a neutral third party, not an agent, not a loan officer. I just watch this whole thing and laugh. I don't know where people made up these stories. I don't know. I have friends who are agents and I've asked them all the time. I'm like, hey, if a loan officer does this, and they're like, oh, I get the ick factor. I'll never text them back again. Like, and that's the thing. I don't know why you guys think this stuff's a good idea. It's just not. What were you saying, Tom?
I don't know that I've told you this story, but we had a local real estate office that the company that I work with was paying $2,900 a month to have an MSA. And last year we decided that MSAs were ridiculous for us and we weren't going to do them anymore. So we went and sat down with the leadership of this real estate. This firm has, I don't know, maybe 45 agents. And we told them, look, this is not money well spent. Essentially, in that case, they were getting a check once a month that was going to their accountant, and the agents were not really even knowing where that, and I'm sure they were spending it on leads or whatever. But we sat down with them and we said, look, we want the opportunity to spend time with your agents more than we have right now. And we want, one of the strategies that we used was we want, every time you hire a new agent, we want to be the first person you call so that we can sit with that agent, take them to coffee, get to know them, understand about their lives, understand what motivates them. You want to know something? Our business from that real estate office increased in the year of 24 versus the year of 23 by 30%. And the whole difference was we quit paying money and we started paying relationships. And those agents and in fact, yesterday I was with one of the owners of that real estate office, and he's just so grateful that we did that, because now their business is growing too, because their agents are happy and they have a partner that they feel like believes in them, cares for them, and is there for them. Now, does that mean, we never do anything like sponsor an open house with them or, show up with something for that? No, it doesn't mean we've quit doing that at all. What it means is we're doing things that build relationship with the agents.
Well, and guys, think about it. When you guys get approached, how many of you have been approached, right? Put a little reaction up. How many of you guys have been approached about an MSA agreement or a paying for leads agreement, right? Give a little reaction down there if you guys have had that, right? So this has happened, right? How's it feel when they do that? Feels effed up, doesn't it? I mean, it just doesn't, like, because I've had that happen. It's like, hey, let's go do this. And it feels just weird. It's like, it's like, I don't know. It just something feels off about it. My point of that is it's because it is off. So a lot of people ask me, Roland, what do I do? What do I do when someone wants that? Especially if it's like let's say it's one of your top producers and they want to do this with you, right? So now you're like, uh-oh, I don't want to, because that's what happens. A lot of loan officers, they get bullied into this MSA agreement because they're like, oh, but I don't want to lose my top partner. And so they get bullied into saying yes, because it's like, oh, I don't want to offend him because then he's going to go off and see another loan officer. Here's my reaction to that. This is my script. I use this every single time with anybody who approaches me at all around some sort of like revenue sharing. This is how I say it. I say, hey, oh my gosh. So let me understand this. Now repeat back to them what they want. So let me understand this. You're looking for more clients, right? More leads. Is that the objective? They're like, yeah. That's the objective. I go, okay, cool. And you're trying to expand that reach. And you need capital, you need to inject capital to do that. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I say, oh, awesome. Yeah, no, I would love more leads because you're my top partner, so more leads for you means more business for me. So I think we're on the same page with that. You say, what are the strategies that you're thinking about using with the capital? And you know what they're going to say, it's going to be Zillow leads, some sort of like paid traffic, right? So say, oh, anything else? And that's going to kind of get them thinking a little bit weird. They're going to be like, well, what do you mean anything else? And then they're going to say, well, I don't know. Do you have any other ideas? I'm going to say, yeah, actually, I do have a lot of ideas. What I found is paid leads online in the housing industry, especially in this market, are just garbage. The most people with the credit score, the income, the knowledge are not going to make an online purchase of a $1 million asset. It's just not something that people do. So I would actually prefer, we've found methods that convert higher. Like, oh, what are those? Then you guys can talk about, hey, I would love to inject capital there. That's kind of what Tom did with these people. Is like, guys, what I'd way rather do with that $2,900 a month would be this, and this. Now we're getting boots on the ground, face-to-face interaction, massive branding opportunities, right? Rather than this pray and spray method, banking on Zillow to do it. And you guys, one thing to mention at the end of that too is tell your agents, guys, you guys do realize by paying these people, you guys are contributing to the demise of your industry. You guys do understand that, right? By giving fintech company money, you're essentially building up fintech to the point where they don't need you. They'll dispense their own capital from a loan standpoint. They already own the shopping center. They're like Amazon. They already own where all the products are. So it's just one click away from adding a finance option. So I would say that's what I would drop in there too is, I come from the medical field. We are anti big corporations getting into our area. And I say this all the time. I say, hey, listen, I would love to do all that with you. One thing that I do not stand for is contributing to my demise and substandard care for my patients. And that's what's going to happen if we keep promoting. So I would end it with that. So anyways, I would just say, hey, I want to get leads too. Let's do this thing. I know this coach. Would you guys want to sit down and meet with him? He's got like these 4 strategies that are free. They take a little bit of work, but they're free and they're endlessly scalable. Would you guys be down for that? I could bring him into your guys' office. Boom, comments shifted. Because here's the thing, you guys know what happens. How many has done those deals? I have seen, they might end up making you some money, but I cannot tell you how many of those I've seen end in a really bad way. Something happens. They're not calling the leads. I don't know. Some sort of disagreement comes and then the whole thing's done and all the agents in that office and it's tainted by this nasty transactional conversation you guys had. So, anyways, little side note.
One of the benefits too, Roland, of getting to know your agents kind of more deeply, getting to know the people that are doing the business and having a personal relationship with them is then because you know them, you can figure out and know what they really do need. I'm thinking of the story that Steve told. Steve's one of Roland's other clients, about an agent who wanted Zillow money or whatever, and I just got to have it. And as Steve talked with him and got to know him, he realized that the guy didn't know a thing about mining leads out of his own database. And so Steve sat down with him and showed him how to work out a database. And the guy came back and said, oh my God, I cannot tell you how many really viable new deals I'm getting just by what you taught me. So you learn what is really going to be of value to that referral partner.
Well, and Steve, just to read, you guys want to hear Steve's script. Steve's script is, hey, I'm down for shoving more leads into a funnel. What I found is agents' funnels are leaky and shitty and don't convert. And so my idea of throwing more leads into a janky funnel, I'm not thrilled to use my money that way. That's his script. And so it's like, hey, I'm down, but let's make sure we're not bleeding out before we start. Because that's what happens. Most of you guys do those MSAs. They don't, you guys seen the statistic? If you don't answer the call from Zillow, it's a 98% chance that you will not ever hear from that person again. So how many of those agents who you're paying for their leads are answering that call and not letting it go to voicemail? That's what I want to know. Right? Yeah, exactly, Troy. None of them. None of them. And there are ways of tracking that. So if you guys can set up a tracker, I can't remember, I don't know if Zillow tracks it, but like you should be tracking that and throw that in their face. Be like, guys, statistically, if you don't answer, so like, do we need to hire a VA to answer? Like, what do we do about that? Because I'm not going to sit me over here dropping all this money. This is an interesting angle, Tom. I'm glad you brought that up. So from a tactics, I know you guys all want tactics. So how did Tom and I pull this off? Tom and I teed it up perfectly. The name of the game, everybody listen to this. The name of the game is making friends. Stop trying to get leads. Stop trying to educate people. Stop trying to make them smarter with your fancy reels. Stop trying to be an influencer. I don't know what you guys think you are. You're a loan officer. I don't know what you guys are doing with your stuff online. My gosh, you're a loan officer. Like I think you guys like lost track because you're all loan officers and you guys all think that you're influencers or something. I don't know what happened, but like me and all my friends are like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with these loan officers who want to be influencers. But anyways, it's the name of the game isn't trying to get followers and get a borrower to like send you a DM or something. The name of the game is relationships. You guys all know this. It's getting as many, when we talk about market share from agents, we're talking about getting chosen. They choose their friends. They choose their friends. The reason I'm successful, wildly successful in 6 different industries, 7, including the one that I sold, was I know how to get people to be my friend. That's it. I find out who my referral partners are. I become their friend. And then I don't even have to ask for business. They just start like sending it to me. It's just like, I just like go and I just get referrals after we became friends. I never asked. And everyone's like, always ask for the business. You don't have to if you're friends. And again, we have different kinds of friends. I want everybody to listen to this. We have friends we admire who we're not friends with, but we admire the person. We love being around them. We just don't have a lot in common, but that's still a friend, right? Again, I have tons of friends, Lauren and I here at the club, they're in their 70s, 80s, and 90s. And yeah, we don't invite them over to the house, but yeah, when we see them at the club, we shoot the shit. I see them at the driving range. We're laughing, joking. Like, I'm still friends. And if they did something that my clients needed, I would probably send to one of those people rather than that random guy who called me and tried to give me money for something or invite me to his Con Ed class. You see what I'm saying? It's the name of the game is relationship. So what Tom and I are about to talk about is Tom's kind of like bread and butter strategy. And it's a strategy I use with all my clients, which is how do you create a platform for them to see you as you? Everybody write that down. How to create a platform for them to see you at your best. That's what this is all about. A lot of people who have like an event, a conference. Look at what Don and Gino and Neil did. Neil did with Forward, and Don and Gino did with Momentum Builder. Yeah, they're helping a bunch of people, and that's the goal. They're connecting people. They're benefiting the industry. But again, a lot of the energy was Don and Gino sat back, and it was a legacy play. What am I going to do? I don't want to be a loan officer anymore. How am I going to be somebody who made a difference? Right? Seth Godin says a line that I love. How am I going to be missed when I'm gone? If Don and Gino were flying somewhere and their plane crashed, people would just be like, damn it, what's going to happen it'd be a topic of discussion. And it's because they made a difference in people's lives. They invited me places. They did this thing for all you guys.
But it has to be sincere.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean,
you
knew that from day one, the day we talked, you saw our event, we talked, you knew that.
Oh, I came to the event and I was like,
I knew. In fact, we're 7 figures into our legacy investing in it.
That's the thing is like, I run events, so I know. So when I saw this event, I came up to them and I'm like, y'all have been losing money for the past 5 years, haven't you? They're like, yep. I'm like, I know. But that's what I'm saying.
Make a ton of money. Look at all these people. We're like, yeah, it only costs $750,000 to throw this on.
I was going to say, have you guys tried to host an event at Caesars? Yeah, it's a big bill.
If you want to do it right.
Yeah, exactly. But that's so Tom and I are going to discuss this. Tom, is your website up and live? Can people go to it?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. And I have Facebook.
It's Lubbock. What's the website URL?
So
Lubbock,
I have a couple.
LB.
I have the one for the company, which is where I send people that are doing.
The one for Impact.
Yeah, it's called impactmakerslbk.com.
Yep. So my point is, we're about to talk about what it was, but when the energy behind what Tom and I did was, and this is, I encourage all my clients to do this because it's the only reason I have as much money as I have, is you need to have people see you in your element. Why do you think that's why keynote speakers who sell things love to keynote speak? Because when we see Barry up there, God damn it, like who doesn't I want to geek out on the numbers when I see Barry speak. Like he makes me want to learn more about that stuff because it's so cool, all the stuff that he's able to conclude about it. Because we're seeing him in his element. And then you develop an affinity towards him and you see him in his element again, another affinity. Barry's probably one of the, if not the strongest personal brand in our industry. And it's because we see him in his element. We never see him out of his element. And then he created his platform online. We're seeing him in his element again. So again, you're seeing Barry hundreds of times a year in his element. That's branding. That's relationship. Right now, when you see Barry, he's one handshake away from sealing the deal, and he's never even met you, right? How cool is that? So that's what we're talking about. So Tom, let's talk about how we discover this, why we chose. So first off, tell everybody what Impact Makers is, and tell them kind of the ideology and the mission behind it.
So Impact Makers is a group I bring together of business people, all of them either real estate agents or there are some insurance agents. And the mission was, I just had this idea during COVID that there were people in my marketplace that just had a need to get together, experience each other. And what it is not and never will be is an event-based group to teach people how to do loans or to teach people how to do buy and sell real estate. And so I bring in speakers, and we talk about life. We talk about ways to build relationships. We talk about, I had one of the basketball players from Texas Tech University, which is the university in the town I live in, that everybody loved. And he went on to play in the G League. Is that what it's called, Roland?
Yep.
And everybody loved him, and he's a dynamic speaker. So I had him come. And I just know that bringing people together in that kind of a mission where I don't have to sell them anything. I do not sell them a thing. I charge for them to come, actually, and they knock the doors down. I mean, I'll have 100 or more people show up for this event,
and they pay. They pay to come. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and why? Because I realized that one of the things I could add as value was to bring them together, build them up as human beings. Yeah, the byproduct is more business. It always is more business as a byproduct. But if you try to bring people together, or I feel like if you try to bring people together to teach them the 10 steps to fill their pipeline, they can get that anywhere. What they can't get is, and it's turned into this thing where it's Father Tom is what the younger kids here at the office call me all the time, because they come to me and so it's turned into this thing where, oh my God, Father Tom's putting on another event. And I know they know it's going to give them something they can walk away with that is going to enhance their life, help them in their relationships with their families, help them be a better human being in the community. And then people are going to want to do business with them. I say it all the time. Roland, you told me, I don't know, 3 years ago about this, and I won't go into all the details of it for time's sake, but about what you call the purpose economy. And the bottom line there is people want to do business now in the 21st century. People want to, especially millennials and Gen Zers coming up, do business with people that they know care about them and what they need and want in life. And that's what Impact Makers is. And they knock the door down to come to me after that. They really do. And I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying, I found a thing that built their lives up, and their businesses benefit from it. But mostly, because guess what? At some point in life, they're going to die and leave that business behind. So giving them something that makes them have a better, happier life while they're doing
Now,
this.
again, do you need to, just to kind of clarify for everybody, because I'm lazy, so I'm going to speak from a lazy person's standpoint. Do you need to start a momentum builder? Do you need to start a forward? Do you need to start at Impact Makers? No, mine back in the day, I was the new doctor in town, which being a new smooth-faced doctor is a bad thing. They want you to be old and crusty. And so being new in town was very not good for me, especially in a specialty position. And so for me, I needed to get them to like me. That was my only shot. I could not leverage my skill set, not in medicine. You can't, because I don't have that. Like, I literally can count on my hands and feet how many patients I had treated at that point in time, right? And so I had to get them to like me. It was the only way. It was the only way I was going to succeed. So what did I do? I did Taco Tuesday. A lot of you guys already know about that. I did Taco Tuesday. The invite was simple. I went to providers and I said, hey, here's Taco Tuesday. It's a casual, all it said, it was a little thing. It said a casual environment to connect with other healthcare providers in your area. And it had a picture of tacos, and it said Roland, not my company, not my brand, Roland, with my cell phone number. That was it. It was the most there was no agenda to brand myself. It was none of that. And then what I would do is I would feature the other clinics in town so that everybody could come together and know about these other offices, know about where and that was the goal. And so, but again, I had one caveat when they would call me. I would say, here's the one rule and one rule only. And I would encourage you guys to put rules on who can come. I said, you have to still care about your patients. I say, we are famous for people telling us that we don't give a shit about our patients. That's like the whole mantra of medicine now, is that we all don't care. And so I was like, if you are one of those people who is burned out and doesn't care, I don't want you to come. This is an event for people who are still in it, who want to give the best patient care, who are not giving up, even though the medical system's brutal, right? That's who it's for. So what message did that send? Everybody guess? Tom, what message does that send when I say that about who gets to come?
That message that they wanted to come, that they wanted to be there.
And that I'm that person.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That you're going to be in great company with people who think like that. And the assumption is, well, Roland must give a shit, because if he's telling only people who can come care, then Roland must care. And so it was this cool kind of like branding event while also assembling a tribe of people to meet. We did it at the beginning. I did it every 2 weeks, which is way too often. So then I backed down to once a month. We skipped December and we skipped December and we skipped June and July just because people are really busy. But outside of that, we did it every single month. I started being called the taco guy. That's what people called me. It's the taco guy. This taco guy. Now, to Tom's point, you know what people are paying to go to Tom's event? Everyone's always like, oh, Roland, and that probably only cost you like $800. I didn't pay. I'm not their dad. I'm not your dad. Why do I have to buy your tacos? Like, you can buy your own damn tacos. And you know what happened? People bought me tacos. People will be like, running to hey, Roland, you want another margarita? So I don't need to buy your stuff. Come on, man. What's up with that? So it's like, you either want to hang out or not. And if you don't want to, and here's why I did that. If you're only going to come for free tacos, get out of here.
That's a good point.
And if you're not in a financial position to buy me tacos for hosting this thing, then we're just not a good fit. Because that was what it was. Like, Roland, I'm so thankful for you for doing this. Like, that was like, they were happy. The same thing for Tom. It's like, thank you for doing this. Right.
So
whereas,
funny, I'm just throwing out I'm going to throw on our landing page, listen to you guys. I love it. It's sometimes like our event, we want, of course, 1,500, 2,000 people, but it's not for everyone. And I'm basically adding to the landing page right now. Hello, Sonia, you're getting an email right now. This is an event for those that want to engage, grow, learn, be inspired, take action, and have fun.
And I would encourage you, if you're open to it, add a who it's not for. So if you guys go to my website, it says right on it, my program's called In Design. My big thing is we figure out how you're designed and then we position you how you're designed to make more money. It's not for you is, it's not for you if me talking about your design makes you uncomfortable and you wish I would stop saying it. And my point of that bullet point is, if that's not the room you want to be in, then don't come to my coaching event. We don't talk about my loan officers know how to close loans. They know how to talk to agents. We're not trying to scam people into selling people stuff. We're trying to position you so that you don't have to, so what you do every day doesn't feel like work. That's all we do in my coaching program, right? That's why my website says I coach loan officers who have already been coached, because I don't want to coach you on the nonsense that you need to be coached on. I want to coach you on the stuff after coaching, right? So put a disqualifier on there, Don. That way loan officers know, oh, I'm that, I shouldn't come. Yep. Oh, you're muted, brother.
Muted, Don.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm going to ask you for your input on that part.
I will.
Too, because I like that, because we've gone that direction, because we got that from you in the think tank saying, hey, we want to push out. Like, everybody wants us to do like $1.99 tickets. I'm like, no, that's not. They're not going to get the experience they really want, or the speakers or the coaching or the event or anything, if we dumb it down to that. And those who only want $99 tickets are the ones that are only there to party.
It's exactly that's what I was saying is, like, if the only reason they're coming is for Con Ed credits and free tacos, guys, you don't want those. Like, my referral partners, like, they're busy. You know what would happen when I threw Taco Tuesday? There was this guy. He was the wealthiest provider in our town. He owned this massive surgery center. Guys, so much money. He would come and he would walk in. He'd wave at everybody. He would he would say he would pay for everybody's stuff and then leave because he's just busy. He doesn't have time to hang out. So he'd walk in, say hi to everybody, beep, swipe his card and leave. But the point was he respected what I was doing. He wanted to be a part of it. He just didn't have the time on Tuesdays. But that's the
5
thing
minutes
is
left,
they want to
just
buy
you know,
in.
to like knock this out of the park. Not
What's
that we
it?
can't go
Yeah.
over, but just
Oh,
to
yeah,
respect
yeah.
everybody's time. I
So
just want you guys to have
exactly.
a
So the
disclaimer.
last thing I wanted to button down was how to launch this and how to fill it. Because that's what most of you guys are probably wondering is, all right, Roland, I love this. Cool. How do I get this thing going? How do I fill it? Tom, talk to us about your very, very first one. How'd you get people there and how'd you fill it?
My first event.
Yep. Your first Impact Makers. Yep.
I picked out the cream of the crop that I wanted to invite, people that I had a relationship with. I sent individual invites to them through, I used the website Eventbrite, not Eventbrite, the other one, but anyway. And then I followed up and I called them and asked them about, signing up and coming and whatnot. That first event I had, and I picked a nice venue, that one, I really did, just because I thought at the beginning, it would be great to wow them a little bit, But so it was personal invites. And I will tell you this, you've said this before, the power is in the invite, right?
Yes.
Whether they show up or not. And but the biggest amount of feedback I got, I had one speaker at that first event as well as myself. And the biggest amount of feedback I got was, I'm honored you had me on the list to invite, because I made it clear that it was invite only. It wasn't out there on social media for anybody to just pick and choose on. And it made them feel like I cared about them.
Yes.
And guess what? Every single one of the persons that was at that first event, I think I invited 55 people and I got 42 people came. Every single one of those 40 or 42 people come to every event now. And they swipe the card and pay to come to the event because they felt cared about. And
yes.
And I do want to say, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, I like the invite only.
Yep.
Because we get a lot of posers that are just there for the free tacos.
Yep. Free food. Yep.
Well, yeah, for sure. So this backs up just a little bit. I know we're running out of time, but I want to say this really fast is a quote from Simon Sinek. I think what Roland's teaching you right now is a great example of how to do it. But what Simon Sinek said was, you have to remember 100% of your clients are people. 100% of your referral partners are people. I don't care if you get the best product in the world or the best process in the world. If you don't understand people, you don't understand business.
Yeah.
And that's what this is about, making a platform to help people see that you understand them.
Yes. Yes. I'm going to rattle off, as I know some of you guys got to jump. I'm going to rattle off my tips to make this financially lucrative. Everybody ready? First and foremost, power is in the invite. Milk the shit out of the invite. Milk the shit out of it. Milk it, milk it, milk it. What do I mean by that? Posting here, pictures here, emails here, texts here. Milk that thing. Because here's the truth. The top people are not going to come very often. They're busy. They have a lot of money. They have a lot of friends. Life's really good for them. They're not desperate to go network. They'll come eventually. But like, honestly, it took me a year to get the top percent to come. It took me a year. The whales want to sit back and make sure you're not a joker before they're going to show up. And they want to make sure you're going to keep posting. Yep. Which leads me into number 2, consistency. Any loan officer can host an event once. And they do once.
Right.
So what whales do is they sit back and they're like, okay, this is cool. I wonder if this guy's one of us. I wonder if he's a whale. And again, a lot of people are like, well, when I'm not a whale because of my production. Whales don't care about your production. Whales look for the substance of a whale inside of a person. That's what they look for. I have never once been judged when I was not wealthy. I was never once judged by wealthy people. They saw me, they said, that kid's going to be rich one day. And so they treated me that way. So if you guys don't have the production, do not let that stop you. Whales don't care. They look for personality traits. So, and one of those is consistency, pride, and fearlessness. And that's what happens when a loan officer hosts an event over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So how do you do that? You guys do it, have the date for the next one picked, and announce it at the end of the one you're doing. conferences do this, right? Hey, next conference is this date, right? Why do they do that? Because I'm not an amateur. I'm building something here, right? And that's what that's the message you guys want to say. So that's point number 2. Point number 3, milk the follow-up. Send out a thank you for coming to the people who didn't come. That sounds weird, doesn't it? No, it's not. It's a way to anchor in what happened. Hey, we learned this, this, and this, and we got to do this. Here's some pictures. It was a great time. Milk that all day long. Even if four people came, doesn't matter. Just say, hey, it was a killer time. They don't need to know that only 4 people came. So thank them for coming, whether they came or not. And then the last thing I would say is make sure it's on brand. Don't just do something. You loan officers do that all the time. You guys just do stuff. You do stuff your coach told you to do. You do stuff. You just do stuff. I don't know why. Like, stop for a second. Is this enhancing my brand and my reputation? Is this on brand? Impact Makers is on brand. Why? Because Tom doesn't bring in money-hungry people to talk about money. Tom brings in heart-centered entrepreneurs who have made a massive impact with their legacy. Right. And so that's the brand there. So anyway, sorry, I know we're
no, that's imperative because Scott Edwards is on this. He does more events than anyone I know, the mortgage doc, you know, of them. And we've had the conversation about, you know, it's really easy to think that people are going to give you the business they like you or because you put the effort in, but you do have to have a call to action. You have to ask for the business, ask how I can, and if it's not just give me business, it's how can I help you grow your business? How can we work together? How can we sit together? How can we build our brands together? You know, you have to have a call to action. Otherwise, they're just going to come and walk away and not give you business. They don't think you need it, but you need to ask those that you want to do business with. I love that, Tom.
Well, and again, the
people that you want to be, because there's people that show up at our events, and we do lunch and learns every single month, and they're consistent. And we started with 20, and now we have 50 to 200 showing up for our lunch and learns. But we do have a bunch of posers that I don't even want there anymore. Yep. So I'm leaning in. Scott's on this call, and we're gonna probably lean in on invite only. You don't just get to show up and again, eat food and leave.
The call to action does not need to be send me business. You guys just have a call to action to further brand yourself. It does not have to be
a meeting, a mastermind meeting.
Exactly. If you're really into meditation or breath work, invite them to a meditation and breath work event. If you're into yoga, invite them to a yoga event. If you're into poker, invite them to a poker. If you're into wine and whiskey, invite them to wine. Like, my point is, there always needs to be these call to actions to say, hey, if you want to be friends, this is things that I do with friends. You guys see what I'm saying? So, but there does need to be call to actions. But my whole business, I've never once asked for business. I just bombard them with cool ways to be my friend. And then they just give me business, because why would they give business to somebody who's not their friend? All right. That's awesome. So thank you guys all for spending your time here. If you have questions for Tom or I, if you have coaching specific questions, you can ask me. You guys can also ask Tom. You know, I know sometimes asking the coach, it's like, oh, is Roland just saying this shit to sell me? I'm not going to do that because I don't coach people that I don't want to coach. And my coaching is very much a mastermind. And if you're not a mastermind, I don't want you there. So a lot of it, like, you don't have to worry about me selling you. I'm more so get on the call to decide if you are actually worthy of coming to my house and being with my tribe, because I've built a badass tribe and I protect them, and my tribe knows that. And so you can either ask me or Tom, but if it's coaching specific questions and you want like a client's perspective, Tom's always willing to answer those if you guys want to shoot him.
So you threw it up into the chat, everyone.
Yep.
Really good stuff, you guys. We can go on for hours and hours about that.
We can.
Back. We're going to break these into pieces. We have a special too for those of you that are going to take action. You'll love this, Roland and Tom. Versus waiting till October to go do Sales Master 2025 to get your inspiration and build your momentum. We're going to start building it now. So anybody that registers now, what's really nice is you start your journey. We're going to have monthly calls with Todd Duncan, myself, Gino, Roland, Tom's, great individuals to help build your momentum leading up to October so that you're geared up, ready to go. And then we take October and gear you up to 2026. So make sure you sign up now, because prices are only going to go up and you're going to miss that opportunity. Plus right now, you get a limited edition gift right now. That's right. Roland's waiting for his in the mail, I know. new swag coming up, but this is going to be the experience of the year, not just an event, and Roland can attest to it. And now it's going to be 10x. With Todd and us come together, it's going to be the event of the year. So we only have 50 of these available. Our theme this year is Beyond Boundaries, because we're going to help you expand what Tom and Roland just talked about expanding what you think you're capable or what you have the ability to do. That's what it's all about. And we'd love you to be part of it, but don't wait to sign up. Start your journey now. This is not just to sell tickets. We really want to impact you and help you have your best
It's community.
ever.
And Momentum Builder is a community. I mean, it really is. That's the objective. And it's only going to get more so that way. And it's not going to grow endlessly. So there will be a day where the community will have a wait list. And so, yeah, please join. It'd be nice to have you guys with us.
Cool. Thank you, everyone, for being on this. You guys crushed it. Good stuff. I have
Thanks,
2
brother.
pages of notes. I'm a note taker.